Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mountainside Podcast. Our guest for this episode is Luke Peelgrane. He's a Colorado native, outstanding photographer, owner and operators at Clandestine Media and Refactor Tactical. He's a former Army Green Beret. This is the first time I'd met Luke. I thoroughly enjoyed sitting down and recording this episode with him. It's a great listen, and I hope you enjoy. What's up, Luke? Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you moving your schedule around, and cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming in, man. What have you been up to lately? Busy man, I know that.
Very busy.
Yeah.
We've been on the media side. We've been going very hard, which has been great. Expanding really quickly, so it's been quite the learning curve, and this is a new business for me. Seemingly. So I'm transitioning out of a second business, Refactor Tactical.
Okay. For people that don't know or just listening to this podcast for the first time, you own a tactical company that does some specialized training targets, that sort of thing. But then on top of that, you have Clandestine Media, which you shoot for a ton of outdoor companies, a ton of tactical companies, that sort of stuff. And we're going to get into all that here in a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah, sorry, not to interrupt you, but just to catch our listeners up to what's going on.
Yeah. So Refactor is it's a apparel company. We make targets. We make apparel. I started that about 10 years ago, and slowly segueing out of that, put the company up for sale fairly recently, and we started Clandestine Media Group about 2 years ago, and it's been blowing up ever since. It's been great. Recently sort of reached a pinnacle in my life where I had to make the decision of, do I want to pursue Refactor? Do I want to pursue Clandestine Media?
There's a Y in the road, right?
Yeah. Totally a Y. Clandestine won, and, I've been really focusing on it. It's a passion more than a business. So I'm really enjoying it, and it's
super dope, man. You guys do awesome work.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun.
Have you done a podcast before, or
Yeah, so I've done...
Damn it. I thought we got you for the first one ever.
the Virgin, the Cherry podcast. Yeah, no, I did one for Black Rifle back in the day, and then what was the other one? It was funny. It was this random podcast where these guys review horror films, and they wanted to bring on
somebody was telling me about was that you, Anna, that was telling me about this?
Are you talking about Red Letter Media? I watch those guys on YouTube.
No, and I feel like a turd because I don't remember the name of it. But it was actually the guy that printed our shirts. Okay. And he's like, "Hey, I do a podcast, and we review horror films and sci-fi films, and we just see I don't know, the realism, which I feel like none of them are real, but anyways, but he wanted to get a special forces guy's take on the actual movies, and he was like, well, what would you do if you're in this situation? I don't know, shoot him in the face. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Blast them,
yeah, exactly. Guy's coming at you with a spike, shoot him. Anyways,
so I feel like those horror movies can just get so out of control. I love the spoofs. What are it's not Scream, but what was the ones that National Lampoons did, or
something? Scary movies.
That's
scary
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
ridiculous,
man. Those are classic.
Yeah. Good shit. But you mentioned Black Rifle Coffee, man. Shout out to those guys. They're actually who connected us, which is super cool, man.
They're awesome.
Great people over there. What episode were you on over there? Was it Free Range America?
No. So this was back. Let's see. This was SHOT Show 20.
Oh, so a long time ago.
This was 2016 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. It was back.
They have so many different little entities and fingers and stuff too. I need to go down those rabbit holes and kind of figure it out.
Yeah, they're super impressive. I mean, I remember talking to Evan way back in the day when he was, he was like, yeah, I'm starting this coffee company, and I was like, that sounds cool, man. And this was after he'd tried his hand at a couple different companies, and it's just funny listening to talk about it then and then seeing where they're at now. I mean,
did you guys serve together, or?
So we were in same circles. Call it
Okay.
that, yeah. So he's an SF guy as well. So, you know, we both kind of met there, and then I've known him for, I don't know, I've known Evan for probably 12 or 13 years now. He's a phenomenal dude. All the guys over there are really good guys.
Yeah, man. Everybody that I've spoken with or met firsthand has just been awesome. So it's just a good group of people, and they're trying to keep it as real as possible, I feel like, you know, which is unique these days, because like everything's an image on your social image, your Instagram page, your all this sort of shit, right? Like,
totally.
I feel like those guys are just trying to be themselves and just do it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's our industry is very you know, it's funny, like we have all these things, we're like, hey, we're going to do 22 push-ups to stop veteran suicide, and we're going to donate to these, you know, charities and make sure you support your brother, and then like the very next breath they'll turn around and be like, oh, that guy who's a veteran who's being successful, he's a turd. You know, it's very like, it's very cutthroat. And I've seen a lot of these guys, a lot of haters, you know,
Sure.
and at the end of the day, when you know the guys, you're like, these are good guys, you know, and the fact that they are where they are, the fact that they're as big as they are, the fact that they've achieved what they've achieved, and they still have...
Yeah, and the media shits on them or something like
Totally,
that, right?
yeah.
Like mainstream media, I guess I should say.
Well, yeah, and even other veterans and other companies, and...
Yeah.
You know, I think at the end of the day, like, it is impressive that...
And is there not a company that gives back more that I know of anyways, man? Like,
no, I mean, they're legitimately doing great things for the veteran community. I can't tell you how many times I've seen them selflessly donate. You know, there's companies that donate product, and they want the shout out. They want the... You know, they do it because they get exposure.
sure.
And these guys donate stuff all the time, and nobody knows about it. Nobody hears about it. You know, and they do it out of the good of their heart. And they hire veterans left and right, which is great. And the fact that they are as big as they are, and they still have a very strong sense of like humility, and they're like, no, we're just guys. And that's, you know, it's honestly who they are. It's very difficult to get to that point. And I've seen a lot of other veteran companies blow up, and then you get these guys that just get massive heads, you know.
For sure.
And I'd say everybody there is still extremely humble. You know, like if you call them, you know them, they're going to talk to you like you're a normal guy. And that's impressive. Anytime
Yeah,
that
no, it
happens, I
is.
think
And it's impressive to get a phone call. It's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, who's calling me?
For
okay,
sure.
cool. In this day and age, you know, everything's text and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Do you have favorite podcasts that you listen to, or? Do me a favor, just pull that mic just a little bit closer to you. If you can just swing that arm.
How's this?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, I can-
All right, perfect.
Reminds me of college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scary
no.
movie.
No, so I see favorite podcast. I really enjoy American Scandal.
That is a good one.
That's
yeah.
an excellent one. Yeah,
I like the history ones too. I find myself listening to a lot of those.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
like This Day in History, or
Yeah.
yeah, I love that sort of stuff.
Super cool shit. You know, so we don't really know each other prior to meeting the 10 minutes that we spent off the air pouring whiskey and vodka here.
Sure.
But we're kind of in some of the same circles, know some of the same people, have some mutual friends, you know. You know Jeremiah Wilbur, we just had him in.
Yep. Yeah. Very.
What
good
an
friend.
awesome guy, right?
He's killer. He's killer. Yeah.
Super rad.
That's another very like genuine dude. And
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Jeremiah, if you're listening, you're a fucking nerd. But no, honestly, I love him. He is such a good dude.
Yeah, and I would have him back on the podcast anytime, man. We did an hour and a half, and it felt like it was 10 minutes. You know? It was one of those ones. It was like, we could have gone forever. He can talk about his background forever. And he's just doing cool shit, man. Like,
and he's hysterical.
Yeah, he is.
He is. That dude makes me piss myself laughing constantly. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah, great guy. How are you connected to that whole crew? Is it just from your military background, or like, is that how you know all these guys, or is it?
I mean, I'd say everybody kind of comes from like a little bit of a hodgepodge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Jeremiah, I think I met Jeremiah on LinkedIn actually. He reached out and we were looking for models, and he reached out and was like, "Yo, you know, I'll come look good on camera." And yeah, he's been,
Especially with that beard, right?
yeah, it's amazing. It's majestic. But yeah, he showed up, and you know, he's been a big staple in the company for better part of a year now, over a year. Yeah, I mean, he comes to the company Christmas party type thing. Like,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, he's phenomenal. He's got cute little kids, and his wife is super awesome. So I mean, like, definitely has been a big staple. But yeah, I mean, everybody, it's kind of cool. I think running the business is it tends to be I'd say like a little bit of a melting pot. You know, I mean, we have all walks of life that come in. And one thing that's unique about clandestine media, definitely more than RE Factor, is I think it's been a little bit of a, like a, I don't want to say dumping ground, but we find a lot of people that come and get a little bit of a solace, you know, they have some solace coming in, right? Because it's like the military, but it's not the military. I mean, we're still flying around in helicopters.
But you're not getting shot at, right?
Yeah, we're not getting shot. And,
well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe if it's a bad day on the set. But yeah, for the most part, like, you know, you get to do a lot of the stuff that you get to do in the military. Every day is different. You know, we're still playing. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, we're LARPing. That's all we're doing.
But on a much cooler level with helicopters and just badass shit, right?
Yeah.
Super rad. I don't know much about your background. You're a Colorado native, right? Colorado kid?
I am, yeah. Yeah. So I grew up in Denver, and then when I was 17, joined the Army and went away to the Army I ended up doing that for 14 years altogether.
Oh wow.
And then started my business and did that since 2011. So
okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, everything stayed and remained in Colorado.
Did you grow up like in the Denver area or mountains or?
Yeah, no, like Denver.
Okay.
Wash Park.
Okay.
Went to University of Denver High School and got a degree from the University of Colorado, and so I've definitely stayed pretty centric to Colorado, other than going away for training. And
how
stuff.
much has it changed, man, since
Dude,
we were kids? Like, I'm a native to here, right?
Yeah.
Like my family homesteaded part of Evergreen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I say this all the time, and I'm sure people are sick of hearing it, but I grew up here, and I never realized what I had. You know, I had to move away from here and go all over the world, you know, touring with rock bands, and then have kids to decide, like, oh, yeah, this place is pretty fucking cool. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a huge reason why people keep moving here, which, I mean, I don't want them to, but, like, I understand why they do. I mean, the place is sick. You know, we've got everything. We've got the mountains, and we've got, you know, great food, great venues, great outdoor sports. I mean, the winters kind of suck, but other than that, like, this place is pretty sick. Yeah. So I definitely can't complain. I don't know if I'd stay here forever, but, like, I really do enjoy Colorado.
Well, if you leave, if you're born and raised here, you'll probably end up coming back, you know. It depends on how many people are here, you know. If it turns into a little LA or something.
Yeah, totally.
Which is crazy, you know, because all those subdivisions, like when we were kids, like Colorado Springs used to be a completely separate town, like Fort Collins did too. Yep. And now it's just like one metropolis up and down the Front Range,
it
right?
Is, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see it grow, but at the same time, it is a little sad to see it kind of, because I feel like Denver used to be super unique, you know what I mean? And now it's just turned into this, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a metropolitan sprawl. And,
yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, everything is going to change. It's not going to be the same as it was when we were kids.
And that's one thing we're big on here is, you know, like, we welcome anybody and everybody. We just want them to treat it right. Mm-hmm. So that was the whole reason for starting this podcast, was to kind of help educate people. But they're also going to have to listen to me bullshit a lot. So.
Fair enough.
Hopefully with cool guys like you. But did you grow up outdoors, like hunting, fishing, anything like that?
No, so I guess I did to a certain degree. So my family, we were a little unique in that, like, we were a sailing family. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So my dad used to pull us out of school when I was a kid, and he'd take us sailing, you know, for 2 months at a time.
You didn't go into the Navy, huh?
No. I was like, yo, fuck the ocean, dude. But yeah, so I mean, that was sort of my outdoors, you know, experience. Did the camping and that sort of shit. But
yeah.
I think it was probably more when I got into the military that I really started kind of getting into outdoors, and I wouldn't say like I'm an avid outdoorsman, you know. I don't spend every weekend camping. When I do, I've got this like fold out tent on top of my truck. It has a memory foam mattress, you know. I mean, I do it pretty posh. If I'm gonna go.
Do it in comfort, man. Why not?
For sure.
Yeah, if that's how you want to go, it's all just about being out there too, man.
Totally.
Like, you don't have to be this super like, yeah, I can do everything with just my knife, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I it's funny. I think, you know, the military gets you out, which is cool. I mean, I spent plenty of time sleeping on the ground, you know, through the Special Forces qualification course and survival school and that sort of stuff. I mean, I've paid my dues,
Sure.
You know, sucking it up. So now I kind of enjoy a little bit more of a posh outdoor lifestyle.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I
and you should at your age and my age, like why not, dude?
I know.
Like,
I mean, hopefully
if
you're
you
not
can,
assuming I'm super old, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it, right? If I sleep on the ground overnight, like I'm gonna feel everything.
Sometimes when I'm elk hunting and we'll set up a base camp, and it's normally during archery season, so it's not super cold, and then the elk are super high, right, like above tree line, and so a lot of times we'll set up a spike camp as well, and man, sleeping on the ground my camper's way better.
Oh, it's killer, dude. Yeah, I mean, I actually,
not that it's bad, but those good dudes like Aaron Snyder and stuff that spend 200 days out of the year out there, I admire what they do, but that's just next level.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'll like their post on Instagram, exactly. from my super sweet mattress. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I got into hunting this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I met this guy named Fred Eichler. I guess he's like a very big personality when it comes to hunting.
Okay.
So I met him through photo shoots that we were doing, and we ended up going to down to his property, and this guy is just like, he's crazy hunter. And he was like, dude, you got to come try it. You got to get into it. So he got me into antelope hunting, and I was like, yeah, I'll try this, right? And so he picks up this
Hannah's got him pulled up right here.
Yeah, there he is. He's absolutely hysterical. He's a character, but he put me in a antelope blind on his property, and I was trying with a traditional bow, right? I was like, screw it. If I'm going to do it, might as well just go.
Oh,
big.
really?
Yeah.
You're going full trad,
Yeah, I was like, screw it. Let's just do it. And so I sat in this fucking blind for 3 days. It was sweltering hot. So like it was towards the end of day one, and my phone was running out of battery, and I was like, oh shit, I better go charge my phone. So I ran out of the blind. He's like, what you running up? Dude, they saw you. So like, you're not going to get elk or antelope today. I was like, oh, I'm really not good at hunting, obviously. But yeah, we ended up seeing one, and I took a shot at it, and I missed because I suck at shooting bow.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, the whole experience was fun, and he let me do some duck hunting on his property, which was absolute blast.
That is one of the funnest hunts I've been on. Like if I was going to hunt with a gun, it's
the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
I had no idea. I mean, I'm definitely hooked, and am very ready to do it again. And I mean, I really, really enjoyed that. He also let me hunt a turkey.
Okay.
So we're doing another photo shoot.
That's in season right now, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a spring and a fall season.
Okay.
On it, so
yeah, he was like, dude, you shoot it with the handgun. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go shoot it with the handgun. So he ran out and he showed me where they were at and chased after it and ended up shooting one. But yeah, it was a blast, absolute blast. So I'm definitely hooked, and I really want to do bow elk this year.
Yeah, man, for me, it's not so much like taking the animal. I mean, it's great for the meat, but really it's just an excuse to like get away from all this shit, right? Because where we go, there's no cell phone service.
Right.
Like, and I have one of those Garmin GPSs, just God forbid something happens.
Sure.
Like I got some uncles that go with me that are getting up there, and
yeah.
Heart disease runs in our family and that sort of thing too. And you just never know what's going to happen. But for being not connected for 10 to 12 days is my goal every season.
Hell yeah.
And to be successful and just be out there, man. It's what it's all about, for me.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's definitely a reconnect to.
And that time of year is crazy too, man.
Beautiful.
It can be really nice. Well, this past year was really hot and there's fires. It actually kind of sucked. And then we got dumped on with snow like
oh, that's right.
10 days into it or
the
something.
September cyclone or whatever it was. Yeah.
The bomb cyclone.
Yeah, the bomb cyclone. That's right.
Whatever the
it's
hell
insane,
it was. Yeah. Crazy that they name winter storms now. It's like when we grew up here, it was just a snowstorm. Now my poor kids, like we used to get snow days up here, but it would have to snow like 2 or 3 feet.
Oh,
right?
so people had to be dying.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we got 5 deaths. You guys can come in 2 hours later.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And now they just like, there's 18 inches of snow. We live in the mountains, and they're like, okay, it's a remote learning day. I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, number one, I didn't sign up to be a teacher.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
Number two, my, 4th graders might be smarter than me right now, like, so yeah. But, your military background, you served 14 years, you said, and a lot of that was SF, right?
Yeah, so I went straight into SF. Like at the time they had a
like a selection program, or
yeah. So I mean, basically you join, and you just said, yeah, I want to go SF, and I mean, they get you when you're young because you don't know any better, And so I joined when I was 17, and then went to selection when I was 18. then, yeah, I mean, that was right when Iraq and Afghanistan were kicking off. So went to Iraq in 2006.
So it was after 9/11, right? Because you're a pretty young guy, right?
Yeah, I actually joined, to date myself, I joined about 2 months before 9/11. And it was definitely...
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't get suckered in. My mom got suckered in because she had to sign the emancipation papers, when you're that young. And the recruiter was like, bro, it's like, we're just coming off of Clinton's army, right? And so he's like, war doesn't happen. He's like, those days are over. Your son will
never
and
behold,
yeah. So 2 months later, 9/11 happened.
Now we still haven't come home from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy after 9/11.
So where were you when 9/11 happened? Were you?
I was in high school still.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But you were signed up to go, so you knew what you were getting into then.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a very sobering experience because I was still in, and so I joined the Guard. And when my unit deployed right after 9/11. And we had our first casualty, our first death in December. I think I want to say maybe it was a little bit later than that.
Damn. So how old were you in that?
I was still
experience that. Like 18?
No, I was still 17.
Shit.
Yeah. No, maybe I just turned 18. But yeah, I mean, it was a very sobering experience.
Like you grow up a lot faster than somebody, just living a normal life in their 20s. I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think the military is pretty good about that in general, right? I mean, when you get into the military, they're very good about saying like you're not a kid anymore, right? And you're treated like an adult, which is good for, especially me for being 18. I was an idiot. I'm still an idiot, but I was like especially an idiot back then.
Right.
And I mean, it was a very sobering growing up experience, and I'm very thankful that I went through it for sure. But yeah. Very, very interesting way to, I guess, kickstart life.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can imagine that'd be hardcore. I just went on such a different path. I think I might have went military if I didn't have like such a driven purpose to be a roadie, which was awesome, because I got to go all over the world, and I fell right into that out of high school. Fortunately, I met some right people and worked for some right bands and stuff like that. And but I couldn't imagine like taking that other path and then all of a sudden, just getting shell shocked like that,
Yeah.
Be pretty hardcore because 9/11 happened pretty much right as I was getting out of high school. So I would imagine we're around the same age. I'm 41, just turned 41. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 37. Yeah,
okay. So yeah, right around there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, man. Well, cheers, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
How many times have you been deployed?
It's a tough question. So
too many to count.
Well, yeah. I mean, I deployed with the military. Actually, I only deployed with the military to combat one time, and then I ended up segueing to different things after that.
Okay.
And deployed a lot through other channels.
So you go in, you do your 14 years, you see some crazy shit, I'm sure. Been in some combat zones. What's after the military? You get out. What did you know that you were going to start a tactical company, or was there a transition period there where you weren't doing much or working a regular job?
Yeah, so I was deployed to Slovenia. I mean, I shouldn't say I was deployed. I was there doing a
awesome place, man.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful there. So we were there training the Slovene Special Forces, and they had a backpack. And I mean, I've always been a gear whore, and I really love the backpack. And so I started asking them, I was like, hey, how do we get this backpack to the States? Like, this is a killer backpack. I want to buy it for the team. And they put me in touch with the company, which was a German company. And I ended up talking to them, and they said, you clearly know a lot about the U.S. market, about, designs, that sort of stuff. Why don't we start a business where you can import bags, our bags, to the United States, and you'll be a co-owner, and then you can take off the U.S. market. And I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? So they flew from Germany. They came out to the U.S. We met at SHOT Show. I mean, this was Again, this was 2001, I think. Yeah, January of 2000.
And for our listeners that don't know, what is SHOT Show? That's like tactical gear trade show, right?
That's exactly it.
Selling to retailers, gun shops, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's like the tactical gear, guns, knives, everything pertaining to the industry show. It's in Las Vegas every year, every January. It's a shit show.
Did they cancel it this past year? I would imagine.
They did, yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So they flew out. We met up in they put me in a suite. I gave them all these different design ideas. Kind of gave them what I thought was the keys to the U.S. market and what I think they should do. They got back to Germany. This was before I knew the importance of signing business papers and that sort of stuff. And they got back and they said, hey, we like what you have to offer, but we want to hire you as an employee, not as a co-owner. And I was like, go fuck yourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just start my own business. And I originally, at the time, I was actually accepted for an MBA program because I knew I wanted to get into business at some point. And so I was accepted for an MBA program. And I said, I'll start this business. It was just selling T-shirts. And I figured that, I'd kind of see how it goes. And that was 10 years ago. And so we put out our first couple T-shirts and they sold well. And then we made this survival bracelet. We don't make it anymore, but it was one of those paracord survival bracelets. And
it's got like a knife and a machete. And
it's got all the bullshit,
stuff
a little hand grenade in there. Yeah. And so Maxim magazine featured the survival bracelet.
Oh, no shit.
And it just went crazy. So I had a huge lesson in business trying to figure out, okay, how do I fill orders? How do I continue to make the bracelet? And just kind of took the company off. So that's when I first started realizing that, like, okay, we have a legitimate thing here. This could actually be a business. And the hard part when you start a business is nobody hands you a book, right? Nobody's like, hey, here you go. Here's the lessons on how to
watch out because they're going to fuck you around this corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Down this alley, right? Like,
yeah. So, I mean, it's a total...
It's almost like you got to be street smart a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
On the business side of it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be street smart. And, at the time, like, I was 27. I was a 26-year-old Green Beret, right? And so it was good. I had tenacity and I had a lot of willpower for sure. But what I didn't have was resolve, and I didn't have patience, and I didn't have, I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't, like, if someone was like, hey, your product sucks, I'd get on and be like, well, you suck. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't a good businessman in that regard.
Sure.
And it took a long time and a lot of money lost, a lot of hard lessons to finally get in a groove. And I feel like with RE Factor, we've definitely gotten in a groove. It's a self-licking ice cream cone, which is great. We've got a really awesome consumer base. Everything is pretty much running kind of on its own, which is awesome. But when I was able to take...
Are you guys strictly online or do you have a retail?
No, so we're strictly online. Okay. Yeah, and we do a lot of government sales and, we do some wholesale, but mainly it's just like you come to the website, you buy a T-shirt, call it a day.
Cool. And what else? You guys... So the general public can go and buy anything from RE Factor, right? Or most things.
Yeah. So we started out as a T-shirt company and segued into kind of more of a Target company. And then we started making a lot of nylon goods. So like bags and pouches and that sort of thing.
And your targets are different from most, like the paper target you just buy at the shooting range, right?
Right.
So you guys sell these targets and then they have stickers that go on the targets. So it's I'm going to let you explain this, dude. I'm fucking it up. Basically, you can put a cell phone in somebody's hand, you can put a gun in somebody's hand, or you can put a purse or something like that, right?
Yeah, so I guess what separates our targets from, like, from normal targets is that we try to put a lot of thought process into it. So, like, what we're looking at now, this is the essential shooting target. This has a book that goes along with it where you purchase the book, you purchase the target. The book has a warm-up / diagnosis set of drills, After you go through the drills, then there's subsequent chapters that give you drills to.
So this is more of an instructional target, then. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we try to make everything. Yeah, we try to put a lot of thought behind everything, and this just comes from my experience shooting in the military and kind of what worked and what didn't work. So we just try to offer targets that really aren't what you said, like just pin them up and try to put holes in it.
Sure.
Everything has something special to it. Like the one you're looking at now, this is the active shooter target. So, this was actually made at a request of one of the government agencies. But things like the triangle on the head, right? We measured out the exact distance for what's called the triangle of death. So it's like between the two eyes down to your chin. If you get around in that quote unquote triangle of death, then like the person that you're shooting is guaranteed to be stopped.
Okay.
But I mean, we're always trying to put some sort of thought into everything we make, except for the keyhole target. That's just a fucking target.
That's just a normal target.
Good one to pull up.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that's been a big push for us is the targets. We've got a couple.
So you're selling a lot of these targets though to like law enforcement, military, that sort of thing, right? Because they're kind of that next level of training, really.
I wouldn't say it's different training
when it comes to a paper target.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, we do have contracts. So we have a contract with the FBI right now, which has been great. We've got some other kind of contracts out there that we're pursuing and have pursued and we've gotten in the past. But I think a lot of them really enjoy the fact that it isn't just put holes in paper. And when I can sit somebody down and say, hey, this is why we created the target, they get super excited about it, and that's where the sale happens. But yeah, I mean, as far as it's funny, as far as products go, this thing right here, the Combat Fitness Deck, that right there.
Oh, that's a great. Yeah. I got to get that shirt with Bill Murray, man. That's fucking awesome.
Just don't tell him we made it. But yeah, the Combat Fitness Deck is funny. So I created this. This was about 2 years ago, and all it is it's 52 cards, and it's just traditional like jail cell workouts. So it's you can do any workout anywhere without any piece of machinery. So it's push-ups and squats and running and all that sort of stuff. And pre-COVID, I mean, we sold a handful of them, and then COVID hit, and nobody could go to the gym, and so these things just ended up blowing up. I mean, last year, this accounted for 50% of our total sales.
Wow!
This one Combat Fitness Deck. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. We're super stoked about it. We're coming out with the squat deck, so chicks that are trying to get that booty back, they can
like
use
every
that.
girl on Instagram right now.
Yeah. All the influencers can buy it. But yeah, it's been like, and it's funny, kind of
Oh, what a perfect timing for that. I mean, because like the spot where I was going to buy a full double set of kettlebells, like every size, right? Yeah. And I was going to buy them from Onnit. They're one of our sponsors. And I just never did it. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, shit, I should go do that. And they were already gone.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, we didn't really have these in stock prior to this because Rogan just blew them out through the roof, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they were like, I was like, is there any chance, because I know some people over there. I was like, is there any chance that you can get me a pair? And they're like, no, we couldn't even get Joe Rogan a pair right now.
Yeah,
it's
insane.
Forget about
man.
it. Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
It is insane. But I've definitely redone my whole garage is a gym now. My wife hates it.
Yeah, I tried to buy a set of, I think it was like 25-pound dumbbells. And it was like $200.
It's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
It's totally insane. Yeah. I'm so ready for it to get back to a little bit of normal. But.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so what else do you guys do at RE Factor? I mean, above and beyond targets, I know you guys are a little bit more than that. You guys do some training stuff, right?
No, so we did one.
I'm mistaken then.
Yeah, we did one training course, and I was like, no.
Oh, okay.
This ain't it, Chief. But
maybe that's where I saw it then, or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you did some research, probably found the one course we did. But I mean, the training. It's funny. The training is if you're going to get into training, as a post-military instructor or post-LEO instructor,
which there's a lot of them out there.
There are.
It's crazy.
And you really kind of have to sell your soul to the devil to a certain degree, because like if you think about what it takes to be a training instructor, one, you have to have a product, right? Which is funny when it comes to training. You have to have a product in that the training has to differ from the other guy's training that's out on the market. And so what ends up happening is you get these guys and they're like, okay, I'm going to create this crazy wazoo training program. And you're, you know, not only are you shooting a target, but you have to do this and you have to think about this. And you got this, you know, crazy technique.
Next thing you know, you got squat racks on the range.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, all it is these guys are they're trying to come up with a product that is unique, that sets them apart. And inevitably what ends up happening is they believe so heavily in what they're promoting that they go away from, you know, what the training is all about. And so many of the instructors, they're not just an instructor, they're a persona, right? And so you see these guys that come in and they just have these, you know, I think of people that probably embellish, you know, their background or embellish situations. It's almost always training instructors. And I mean, there's some phenomenal guys out there. Like there's some phenomenal training instructors out there, but you know, the reality is when it comes to training, it's actually very straightforward. You know, I mean, it's all pretty much the same. The same techniques tend to work. It's important to continue to develop those skills.
It's more repetition than it is
and
learning new shit every day, right? Or doing something different.
Totally. Yeah, totally. So, I mean, it is a very funny part of our industry, the training side of the tactical gear, post-military veteran, you know, side of the industry it's a very interesting thing to watch. And again, like I've got some buddies that do it that are really good guys. They put out great product. I'm not saying that, you know, each one of them out there is a douchebag, but you see some wazoo bullshit out there and you're like,
well, what gets me is the guys that aren't even military and are doing like these training videos on or former military or anything like that. And they're doing this shit where they're in an F-150 and they're crawling over the seat and then shooting underneath the back door. It's almost comical.
Oh,
man.
it's like, weird shit, dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, dude, is this guy fucking serious right now?
Yeah, and I think there's a big difference between reality-based training and theory-based training.
Sure.
Right? Because reality-based training, you know, that's a guy who he's been shot at. He's seen people get shot. He shot people. Like, you know, when you get into that scenario, you kind of realize like what really does work and what doesn't work. And it's funny, when I first got into the military, I was part of reality-based training, right? Because the military didn't have the 20 years of experience that we do right now. So everything we were training in and everything that we were practicing was in theory.
It's situational stuff.
Right. Yeah. So in theory, you're going to enter the room this way, right? And in theory, by entering the room this way, you're going to be able to engage the enemy this way. And in theory, it's going to give you the upper hand. And then reality hit, and we actually started going into rooms, and we realized that if we go into the room this way, we get shot, right? And that's where the reality-based training, that's where the reality kicks in, and that's where it really changes you know, where the military, like I think the military is advanced as far as warfighting is concerned more in the past 20 years than we did the entire time since Vietnam.
What suggestions, and I've brought this up on the podcast before, and I've been fortunate, you know, we were talking before the podcast, the industry that I've been in, I've gotten to know some operators, and now that I'm podcasting, I'm getting to know a lot like guys like you, you know, and it really put it in perspective. I've always had a handgun for home protection, right?
Sure.
And my family's, well, I guess since my family, I carry a handgun more in the woods for bears than anything, right?
Sure.
Especially where I go fly fishing. But yeah, there's, you know, you gotta put there's some geometry behind the bullet, right? Like you got to think about that, like those lines in the sand. Like you don't want to be shooting at somebody and your kids are in the bedroom behind.
Sure.
Where you're shooting, right? What suggestions do you have for somebody just home defense?
Man,
you know, with all that training that you've done, is it knowing where everybody's at in the house before you start taking shots, or?
Well, no, I mean, I think,
and I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna put you there.
That's fine, man. I mean, that's a really tough question to answer in a short podcast, but
sure.
You know, I honestly, I think that a lot of home protection actually starts before the person even enters the house. You know what I mean? I think those are things that people don't think about. Like, you know, have you actually purchased security cameras? Do you have an alarm system? Do you have a dog? Do you have, you know, just you start there and that's going to increase your chances of even ever having to find yourself into that situation.
Even just the little sign in the front, right? It's
totally, yeah, for sure, man. But I mean, and again, this is like, this I think this is the difference between reality and theory, right? Because in theory, I'd be like, well, look, you need to go to 20 different handgun classes, and you need to purchase this specific handgun. Make sure you choose this caliber. The reality is that unless you like live that life, I advocate owning a handgun. I advocate owning firearms. Like, I think it's important. But the reality of the average citizen being proficient enough in owning a handgun, which is a precision weapon, and having somebody come into their house and them shooting them in a accurate manner, like the chances of that actually happening
in the dark,
and
when you got to get your gun out of a safe spot, hopefully it's not under your pillow, because it's not a safe spot, right?
Exactly. Like the chances of that actually happen, they do tend to be pretty low, right? So I think
unless you live in Texas,
unless or where I live off of like down, I live in the hood right now, so I mean it is certainly a little bit more plausible, but the reality is that I think it's more important to make yourself a hard target. You make your house more hard target. You make it lit. You make it, again, you get the dog, you get the security cameras. You do all those things so you don't find yourself in that situation. If you do find yourself in that situation, I mean, if someone came to me and they're like, what should I buy? I'd say buy a shotgun, right? I mean, it's a big pattern. You pray and spray. And I'd say that's probably your best bet. I don't think, unless you're really down to be like, look, this is, I want to protect my family. And if you do, like, kudos to you. I think it's super important. If you want to take that decision, you want to have a handgun that sits in your nightstand or in that lockbox next to your bed, go get the training, right? And you have to go to the range. You have to have the proficiency.
It's all about the training, right? Don't shoot somebody in the house.
Exactly.
Do you ever frequent any gun ranges around here? Or have you ever been to Bristol Cone?
Yeah, we've actually, we sell targets to Bristol Cone.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're phenomenal people, phenomenal gun range.
We know them very well. They actually live right up in this area.
Killer.
My kid plays soccer with the owners, and we've had them on a couple podcasts.
Oh,
too.
no shit.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Good people, man.
They are really, really good, down-to-earth, wholesome people.
And by the way, listeners, we are not just teeing this up. Like, we didn't know each other before this podcast. This is not an hour-long gun commercial here. But Bristol Cone's great. If you're in the Denver area or if you're traveling in, you can go down there. You can rent a gun. They do all kinds of different situational classes. And they got some good dudes. They got some former military dudes down there.
For sure.
Teaching tactical pistol or whatever you want to get into.
Yeah. And if you do make that decision, you're like, hey, look, I want to protect my family with a pistol, and you're going to go get the proficiency, like, yeah, you find a place like Bristol Cone that does have the really good instructors, and you go get the good training.
I mean, sometimes they start them without even a firearm, right? They have those laser guns or whatever. Yeah. The whole video scenario. All right, let's move into clandestine, man, because I'm a photography geek. That's your passion, man.
Yeah.
We've been burning up the time. We could do a 2-hour podcast, no problem, or more. But I love what you guys are doing at Clandestine. I've shot in my past, and we kind of got into this. I've shot action sports. I like to shoot wildlife because I like action when it's going on. And I've gotten to shoot from a couple helicopters that I've had to rent myself. They've been super expensive.
That's awesome.
I love aerial photography, but I want to do it with my camera, not a drone, So I really envy what you guys do, and I want to hear all about Clandestine. You guys basically are shooting for tactical companies, so a lot of your shots are with helicopters and some of those badass military equipment,
Yeah. So I mean, it was a very I think just like RE Factor is sort of a happenstance business, but I was doing photography for my own company, for RE Factor, and I've always enjoyed photography. My dad was a phenomenal photographer. He was an aerial photographer, and worked for a local news station. And so I when I was younger, I appreciated it, and then when I was kind of I'd say early 2010, 2011. I sort of picked up a camera and started kind of getting into it. And then I'd come back from a deployment while I was running the business, and I would set up these photo shoots. And I would say they were very realistic looking photo shoots, as realistic as we could get with the budget that we had. And pretty soon we had companies that would hit us up and they're like, hey, we really enjoy the photo shoot that you did. Could you set one up for us? And so we slowly started setting up photo shoots for people, and I really got into photography. So that's when I was kind of like, I just want to be a photographer. So I think it was back in 2000 and...
Oh, that's a dope picture right there.
Thanks, cool. Man. Yeah, so I think this was 2015. I'd just gotten out of a very long relationship and was kind of, sort of, I don't want to do the cheesy, like, trying to find myself thing, but I woke up one day and I said, I want to be a photographer. And
well, at least you didn't go buy a Corvette or something.
I know, right?
Way better.
Still need to buy one. But yeah, so I purchased a full frame camera and booked a trip to Norway and Iceland, a solo trip to Norway and Iceland, and I just decided I wanted to learn photography. And so I did this 2-week-long trip, and my sister met me on the second week, and we photographed all of Iceland, and I was hooked. And so I came back and started to set up my own photo shoots.
There's something about photography, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, or if it's different for you, I guess I should say, but for me, it's freezing that moment in time and having that forever, man. Like,
well, and for me, I love the thing I love most about photography is you get to see, you show the world how you see things.
Yeah.
Right. And you get to show the world a perspective that people don't usually get to see. You get to tell them what they're looking at. And I think a good photographer, you tell a story, right? You capture a moment in time that tells a story. And I've always loved kind of the wow factor of photography. Like there's very few things that have been more rewarding in my life than when I take a photo and I post it, or I show a friend, or I have it on my wall and someone comes into my house and they say, holy shit, like, wow, that's an incredible photo. It's a really cool feeling to have that, appreciation for something you created.
I couldn't agree more with you, man. Well said.
Thanks. Yeah. So I mean, this was sort of just the start to something super fun. And this has sort of been our, differentiating piece is that, we have always gone above and beyond. So this image right here, this was from 2017, and we had 2 helicopters. We had, a couple police cars from one of the local sheriff's agencies, and we had our own vehicle, and we set up this like police chase, and we posted this photo, and again, all the companies that were involved was like, holy shit, this is a very unique photo. Like, this is something that most people,
and it's not photoshopped either, right? Like,
no, yeah, this was real. So I mean, I was hanging out this helicopter from the side, and a buddy of mine who, so actually it's kind of funny, the guy who's flying the helicopter that I'm in, his dad and I, my dad and him flew helicopters together like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it was. And then his son is flying the lead helicopter, and he's a good buddy of mine. His name is Chase. And then, I've got some buddies hanging out the side. And so, I mean, it was a very like just sort of slapped it together type photo shoot, but the photos turned out great. And, it was a lot of these photos that sort of put us on the map. And we had some big clients in this original photo shoot, like Steiner, which is a very large optics company, and we had LMT Defense, which is a pretty well-known rifle company. So
did they come to you with a budget and say, this is our budget, and you say, okay, I'm going to book X, Y, and Z, or?
So originally what we would do is I would set up the photo shoot, and I'd reach out to these companies, and I was just getting them to help me pay for the photo shoot, right?
Sure.
Just to pay for the fuel,
which is not cheap, right?
It is not cheap, no. But I mean, we kept providing a great package back, and shots like this where they're like, holy shit, this is different, this is unique, and that turned from help me fund my own photo shoot to come to me with a budget and let's do a photo shoot for you. And so now we actually have a very similar, so we have kind of 2 different types of photography that we provide. The first one is individual. So that's a company comes to us and says, hey, this is our budget. Can you please set up, this photo shoot for us? And it's dedicated imagery for them. The next one is that we do the combined shoots. And so I go out and I find the venue, I find the models, I find the medium. So the medium could be a helicopter, it could be a snowmobile, it could be a motorbike, it could be horses, it could be kind of whatever. And then we reach out to participating companies and we say, hey, this is the cost to participate. If you sign up, you are the brand for that lane. So for example, in this one, we had Team Windy helmets, we had Smith Optics, Kimber pistols. And so they buy access to that category. So
and then they're also probably supplying you with some of their gear, right? So you can outfit these dudes.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we it's and that's been a big godsend for the company because we get good residual gear that we're able to use for future products.
Awesome. Yeah.
So like, a lot of times we work with these companies and they're like, hey, just hang on to the firearms. And, we have a very decent armory room that we can now use for, future photo shoots and stuff like that.
How many photographers do you have working for you? Like I'm not sure. Is Matt Lingo?
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Lingo's the man.
I've just connected with him because he shoots for some of my buddies that I know.
Yeah. He shoots for Half Ace.
Yeah. He's done some stuff, and we've never met in person, but super nice guy, man. Reached out to him a couple times. I'd love to do a podcast with him at some point because I really like his work. But
Matt is, I would say, the best photographer I've ever met. I mean,
it's crazy.
He's absolutely unreal.
Every and beyond the lens too, right? Like
Photoshop
all that sort of stuff.
He's absolutely unreal, and I've learned a lot from Matt. So I mean, he's a contract photographer for us, but I mean, he's pretty much at every photo shoot. So he lives out in San Diego, and we fly him out for almost all of our photo shoots. So he's absolutely phenomenal.
It looks like so much fun, man. If you ever need another one,
dude,
I'm right here, dude. I
got
all my gear ready to go. I just got to dust it off a little bit.
No, man, you're more than welcome to come out anytime.
It's crazy because since I started the podcast, I've taken a step back from that because this has taken more of my time now. So I got to figure out my favorite time to shoot is fall and to shoot bugling elk and that whole scenario. I actually like doing that more than hunting, so
I would love to do some more
you got to come up here, man. It's like
I'm all
shooting
for it,
fish
man.
in a barrel. You just got to look. It's hard finding them where there's not like a house or a structure behind them and stuff, but man, it's great. You can get so close to them here, and
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I never really got too much into nature photography, and in January, myself and my buddy, who's one of our photographers, we went to Tanzania and did
no way.
Yeah, we did a photo safari, and I absolutely it's funny because like the tactical gear photography it's interesting. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool. But last year we did 180 days of tactical gear photography.
Oh man, so, anything gets old, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, you're just like, okay, it's another.
Well, when you need a break, dude, I'm ready. I've shot freestyle motocross. I've shot bands. I've shot low light. So I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah, nah, man, I'm all for it. Yeah. Cool. So we, we went out and shot, zebras and giraffes and shit like that.
Wildlife's fun, man, because you got to catch them in that moment.
Yep.
Sometimes you're waiting forever and you don't get a shot. It's
very rewarding.
Yeah.
It was a lot more rewarding, and it was cool because like it got me enthusiastic about photography again. Because over the past year I was like, okay, I'm getting a little over this, but I went and did that for a month and came back and I was like, I'm excited about photography again. I mean, it's definitely, again, it is a passion. And I absolutely love photography. So
how often do you guys get to play with helicopters? Cause that's another passion of mine. I don't know if you checked out the last podcast, but we had Clay Hutmacher. I'm screwing up his last name. Hutmacher. He's a former 2-star general.
Oh, cool.
He was like a J3 general, so special forces guy, and but he flew with the 160 SOAR and commanded them before that. So badass stories, cool stuff.
I'm sure,
Blackhawks and mini birds or little birds, whatever you guys call them. All that cool stuff. So how often do you guys get to dibble dabble in that? And how do you rent one of those? I mean,
it's insane. So it's funny. You can rent a Blackhawk.
Really?
Yeah. So, so
does it come with the pilot?
Comes with the pilot. Comes with the crew chief. Comes with the minigun on the side.
No, shit, yeah.
Came with the fast ropes. Came with everything we needed. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you go out and you reach out to these companies and you say, hey, I want to rent your helicopter for a day, and it's not cheap. I mean, like,
I'm sure, yeah.
The Blackhawk was about $160 a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got 4 minutes.
Yeah,
let's get this going.
It was funny. I mean, when we were doing like we did rehearsals before we went and actually did the photo shoot. We rented it for 2 hours. And I mean, it was funny telling the guys, is like, hey, check it out. So like if you get off the helicopter and let's say your iPro is fucked up and you fix your iPro and it takes you a minute to fix your iPro, you just cost us $160, right?
Yeah.
And like when we put it that way, I think they're kind of like, okay, I
better have my shit together,
yeah,
right? Better be ready to go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like how often, I'd say at least once or twice a month now we are doing something with helicopters. It's a great piece of imagery,
sure.
You know? So we just finished a photo shoot in South Carolina, and we had a little bird for that photo shoot. It was at
I thought I saw you guys post something today where it was like you were holding a cardboard sign,
yeah,
like something about your car warranty, or right? Because everybody's getting those fucking calls now, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
so
what was the post?
So it's I mean, if you go to our Instagram, I'm sure you'd see it. But there you go. I think it's the most recent one. Oh, not that one. Those are the stories.
I'm fired.
Scroll down a little bit. There you go. Yeah, so it's this one. So I mean, the viral posts are this is kind of our second video that we've done that is it's trending really well and it's going viral. I mean, this is a great way for us. It
popped up in my feed, and I
maybe did it really?
Because we just did the 160 SOAR stuff, and I was like, I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of come up with crazy ideas like this. We had one with our Blackhawk shoot where there was this do you remember the Dreams challenge? There's this guy like skateboarding and then all of a sudden he takes like a swig of cranberry juice.
Oh yeah.
So that was hot when we did our Blackhawk photo shoot, and I was like, it'd be funny if we just did the exact same thing but on a Blackhawk. And we posted it, and it got posted to like Barstool Sports, and it got onto like Memes which has it's 20 million followers or some shit. And so it blew up overnight. I think the video total got like 10 million views.
That's rad.
Yeah, it was cool. It was funny. But I mean, this sort of stuff is it's fun.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just.
No, it looks like a lot of fun, man.
It's a good time.
Super cool. I love what you guys are doing there. So what kind of gear are you shooting on? You said full frame. Are you mirrorless and all that stuff at this point?
So we're all Sony. We're
okay.
a full Sony company. But yeah, I mean, we can nerd out on photography stuff all you want, man. I could talk about cameras all day long.
Yeah, I'm a Nikon guy and have been for, I don't even know, like 20 years when I actually started getting into full frame. And I've never had the big money. I've made just enough money to have some really nice gear, because that was kind of my rule when I got into it. Is like, whatever money I make in this, I'm going to put back into it. Totally. So now, I have some pretty nice gear. I got some 500 mil lenses and some of those big lenses to reach out.
Yeah,
full
especially
frame stuff.
For the nature stuff.
For the wildlife stuff, yeah, it's super awesome. It's because before I would just put myself in harm's way.
yeah, just getting up super close with that wide angle lens.
Yeah, I was that guy in Yellowstone, that I'm preaching, don't do this. But yeah, so yeah, fortunately I've been able to go there, and I was waiting for Nikon to go to the mirrorless, system. But then none of my lenses were compatible, and I was just like, screw it. I kind of fallen out of photography a little bit, so I've just stuck with my. I mean, it still takes great photos. Yeah, it's just a different level,
Yeah, and the reality is people get so wrapped around the axle of like what camera does what, and I think like if you have a company, right? I mean, we're obviously very concerned with like what's the shutter speed and what's the f-stop and how well does this do in low light. Like those are very important things because we use it every single day. But I mean, honestly, like some of the best photos we've taken, I mean, we have $10,000 setups, right? And we'll go out and we'll do a photo shoot, and then we'll just pull out our iPhone and like take a funny photo, and you're like, God damn it, that is a better photo than my $10,000 setup.
I know, it's crazy.
It's frustrating, but
back to rock and roll, I was very fortunate too that I was around rock photographers that are journalists and all this different stuff, and I know some really famous guys that have taken some really famous photos where they've made like $1 million on one photo, right? At some of these big festivals, and they're like, they just told me when I was getting into it, I was like, man, I think my gear's inferior, and they're like, hey, a good photo is a good photo. Totally. He's like, I have made $1 million off of an iPhone photo one time, and I had $30,000 hanging on my neck. So
absolutely.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, perfect case in point. It's all about context,
sure.
Right? Like what's the story that the photo tells? And going back to like the video that we made, I shot that on my iPhone. The thing, I mean, we are a photography company that has 180 days of photography a year, and still today our most seen imagery is on an iPhone. It was that video that we made, and it was the context of the video, right? It was right.
It's amazing what you can do with them, man.
Oh, totally.
There's some photographers out there that are world renowned that are teaching iPhone photography classes now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can get a wedding now, and they'll they market themselves as 100% wedding photographer with an iPhone, which if you hire them, you're an idiot. But but yeah, I mean, you can do it though. Yeah, you can do it. I mean, they're actually really good cameras. But I think it just goes to show you, it's not about the gear. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think there's a point that you get to where the gear really, really helps, right? And you can achieve very specific shots.
For me, it's when it comes into editing and the size. If you need some more ice, that's in that little Yeti cup right there too. But for me, it's crazy. Like, I don't really do portrait photography and stuff, but like some of the photos I've taken of my daughter, when you get that photo into Lightroom and it's an outdoor photo and you zoom in the you can see you in the reflection of their eye. Like that's cool. How clear it is, you know, and how small the pixels go down. Or wildlife, you can zoom in and see a bullet hole that's in the side of an elk, you know, that's all scarred up and stuff. Like, it's those cameras, when you get to that level, see more than what your eye can see.
Yeah, and I think, like when you purchase a super expensive camera, you get away with a lot more, right?
Sure.
Like, it can be overexposed, it can be underexposed, and there's a lot more that you can do with that camera in
post-production.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, if you take a shitty photo with an iPhone, it's a shitty photo. There's not a lot that you can do with it, right? But if you take a shitty photo with a $3,000 Sony, like, there's a lot that you can actually pull from that. And yeah, I'd say that's definitely the difference as far as like the equipment is concerned. But
so your Instagram page for your personal photography, which I was just on today because I was texting you, hey, is this you? Super rad, man. Like,
thanks, man.
So I really like that too. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let you drop it so you can look it up, Anna. Oh, Anna's already got it.
Oh yeah. So it's
and I think the name's super rad too. Where does that come from? You just like, do you have a bucket list of like a full list of stuff that you want to go do? And
well, so I mean, I created this Instagram. This was before I had a company. This was before I had anything. So I made the decision that I wanted to be a photographer, and I figured that maybe I could create a business out of it where I learn how to be a photographer and I blog about what I learn. And then, I mean, selfishly, it was actually so I could make mailbox money. So like, I would blog about what I learned. I would optimize on search engine optimization pertaining to photography. I would have affiliate links embedded in the website, and as people came and read the blogs, they clicked on the gear that I use or the techniques or the different affiliate links, and I would make money from it. So that was what it originated as, and it was great. I mean, I actually learned a lot about photography because it forced me.
You were forcing yourself to learn, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I made the decision. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a photographer. So I created this page. I created this bucket list of photos that I wanted to get. And I thought, okay, if I can get all of these photos and master these photos, then maybe I'll be a decent photographer. So, I mean, it was everything from like wedding photography to boudoir photography to safaris to, all those sorts of things. And so, I've been plugging away at it as I go. I still enjoy blogging every once in a while, but the media company, I never thought that I would have a media company. And once that took place, it really sort of took focus off of this page. So now all I do is I post shit that I like, so if I take a photo,
which is cool, man. And there's awesome stuff on there. So
thanks.
And it's kind of across the board, right? Some of it's tactical stuff. Some of it's not, so.
Yeah. It's funny. Cause like, I think a lot of I have a small following on there. But I think that the people that follow me are obviously more in the industry. Cause if I post like a picture of a helicopter, it gets all kinds of likes. If I post a picture of, a rhino or some shit, it doesn't get as many likes. And I don't know if it's maybe the Instagram algorithm.
But this one's not about that, right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit, man. I just post whatever photo I took that I enjoy.
Isn't fire so cool to shoot? Like, that's one of my favorite things to
fire,
shoot.
yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love photographing. That was a car we burned up overseas. But yeah, I love shooting landscape actually. Like if I wasn't photographing tactical stuff, I would definitely be photographing landscape. So like, yeah, that was from Switzerland.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. That was actually, we did
aren't the Alps awesome?
They're gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, the most stunning scenery I've ever had a chance to photograph. But yeah, this was really cool because we got, so I put together a combined photo shoot for a documentary, right? And I said, okay, I'm going to climb up the Matterhorn. It was funny. I was actually at a party for a buddy of mine who was retiring, and I did a mountain warfare course like way back when I was in the military. And we had this guide who's a Swiss guide. His name was Marcus. Marcus approached me at the party. He's like, hey, why don't you come to Switzerland and climb the Matterhorn, and you can do one of your photo shoots on it. I was like, yeah, sounds great. Right? I had no idea what the Matterhorn was. I didn't realize how fucking high it was. I didn't realize I didn't realize that it was actually like, it was a thing. You know what I mean? And so
it's like Everest level, right? Like,
no, it's not
quite there,
not there. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, you know? So like so it was about a week before I went, and I looked it up, and I was like, okay, I'm going to look up this mountain. And, come to find out that like more people have died on the Matterhorn than Everest, which I didn't realize. I was like, what the fuck did I get
That's
myself
what I was
into?
getting at, yeah.
So
it's like the maroon bells and shit.
It
right?
is, yeah. So I mean, it's a dangerous mountain, but people die because they're dumb, right? Because they're
Right.
just like tourists, and they're like, I think I can climb the Matterhorn, and then they can't. But it's not like Everest where you get sponsored and you have guides and all that crazy shit. So so we did a documentary there, and the documentary was for Black Rifle, Team Wendy, and Kelty. So we got imagery for those companies, but then SOG Knives wanted a actual documentary about a Swiss mountain guide and like what they go through, right? Because they were doing this series where they were featuring just different different professions. It was a really cool series, and they're like, hey, can you do a documentary? And I was like, I've never done a documentary before. I haven't even done a lot of video. Most of my work is photography.
Still, yeah.
But I'll give it a shot. And so, yeah, I went out to Switzerland for 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, and worked with Marcus, and, we climbed a bunch of bullshit around there, right? Like, I mean, he took me up some, if he's listening to this, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
No, I love him to death. He's a great dude, but he took us up this thing called the Bright Horn, and, we found ourselves up at like 13,000 feet in the middle of a lightning storm, and I was like, I don't know what I just got myself into. But it was a super cool experience. I absolutely loved it. I learned a ton about photography on that trip. And it wasn't really until, I guess I got back that I realized, what we'd just done. It was cool. End of the day, it was a blast. And I really would love to get more into that type of photography. But there's it's
time consuming though. Yeah.
It's time consuming, and it's very difficult for me now when we have photo shoots every single week. Right.
Wow,
So it's hard for me to justify taking 2 weeks and going to the Andes or whatever the great adventure is going to be.
So I got to ask this next question. What's the coolest place you've been, or a place you'd go back to? I mean, I'm sure you got a few, but one that's just like, God, I got to go there.
I guess if it comes to photography, like if I could go back and photograph, there's 3 places that I would absolutely go back to any day and photograph again. Well, actually, I'd say 4. So first one is definitely Switzerland. I mean, the wow factor in Switzerland. And I think especially where we were at in Switzerland, and the access and placement that I was given.
It's like the Tetons times 10
Totally.
For people that have never been to the Alps.
Yeah.
Like, when you go into the Teton Valley, that is stunning, right? Because
Right.
there's no other mountains in the Rocky Mountain Range that are like that, where they meet the valley floor and they just go straight up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, when you go there, like, I mean, you honestly feel like you're in a documentary, and it's the Sound of Music documentary, right? You're like you expect that lady to come out and just start singing at any point.
Hated that movie as a kid. My mom, it's back when we had like the rotary TV dial, and it was on like whatever. You know, we didn't have a VCR or anything. We grew up poor, you know. It was like, God, we got to watch Sound of Music again. It sucks.
But I mean, it's very accurate to the area, right? But so definitely Switzerland, Iceland. You know, I mean, Iceland is as amazing as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, it's a rad place.
New Zealand, for sure. New Zealand is just another like absolute wow factor. And then the last one, hands down, is Tanzania. Like, I mean, it's cool. I mean, this is actually the first time I've ever been to Africa, and when we got there, we started off on our safari, and I just never, I always,
you got to go to Cape Town.
I've heard Cape Town is dope.
It's dope.
Yeah. I've heard it's really dope.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was funny when we got there, we were like, day one of the safari, we're like, holy shit, dude, there's a giraffe. Oh my God. There's an elephant. Oh my God, dude, there's this random bird, you know, whatever. So we were just like cameras running the whole time. And it was a 10-day photography safari. And by day 10, like we'd seen so many animals and so much cool shit. I was like, bro, if something isn't actively being eaten or chased, I'm not taking a fucking picture. like I don't give a shit.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean,
do you have a favorite photo that you've taken? Like, or, I mean, I got a bunch of them, but
yeah, I'd say like from each trip, you know, I typically have a favorite photo. Like Tanzania, like if you go to the most recent, or to my personal profile and scroll down, there were a couple ones that I took in Tanzania that I was like, I'd say like super proud about, you know, super excited to post. It's a ways back. Let's see here.
You just tell me when.
Keep going. Oh, that one right there. So this flamingo. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I love reflection photos.
Same here. Yeah, that's why I liked it so
incredible.
much. Thanks. Yeah, I was really stoked about that one. But
I like how it's all blowing out too, man. It's cool with light. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
So yeah, I'd say like every time I go on a trip, I typically have one where I'm like, yeah, I really enjoy, you know, this photo or whatever.
You mentioned your dad as a mentor in photography. Do you have any other mentors, or, you know, did you do photography with your dad, or?
No, so he passed away when I was really young. So, you know, I was too young to learn photography, but I definitely say that there was like that legacy piece, you know, seeing him, or not seeing him, seeing his photographs. Like they always hung in the house when I was growing up, and you know, my mom would have like art galleries and stuff for my dad after his passing, and so I'd say like that sort of definitely fueled a little bit of it.
Sure. I feel that same connection too, because it's run in my family for years. I mean, it skipped generations here or there, but
yeah,
like for a long time, man.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, as far as mentors go, like Matt Lingo actually he's been a huge push in photography. You know, I mean, every time I think that like I'm getting somewhere good, I'm like, all right, okay, I'm doing okay. I see his shit, I'm like, dude, fuck you, man. 'Cause I realize how far behind the power curve I am. You know, it's funny, I actually had a guy when I first started getting into photography. It was a guy named Josh Cast, and he runs a company called Four Guys Guns, and we hired him to do photography for RE Factor back in the day, and he was awesome with just kind of like helping me out with getting into it. And I would say he was very much of a mentor, taught me a ton of stuff, and still to this day he's like very cutting edge when it comes to, every time he posts a photo I'm like, man, that's such a good photo. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the industry that, you know, are just absolute phenomenal.
There's so many out there now.
There really are, yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's very, I'd say it's very humbling, you know what I mean? Because like the cool thing about photography is that you're never going to be the best photographer, right? There's no such thing as the best photographer, and you could be arguably the best sports photographer, or you could be arguably the best
urban landscape or whatever.
Sure.
There's all these different, like, it's almost like the music industry, right? There's all these different genres, and like people try to stay in that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But I mean, I think it's cool. Like the day that you think that you're the best photographer is the day you're going to see somebody post something better than you could ever create, right? And so you're always learning, you're always improving, and so it's a very humbling industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you never will be the best, no matter what you do. You will never be the best. So I think it's cool. I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Well, awesome, man. I really appreciate your time. We've been burning it up, man.
Yeah, no worries.
This has been a lot of fun, and more importantly, thank you for your service, man.
Thanks, man.
That means a lot to us here. Recently, we've just had this huge military push where we've been having like former military dudes on, but maybe it's just who I like to talk to. So
no, that's cool, man. I appreciate.
I appreciate your guys' service and what you do there. Before we let you go, let's drop all your websites, all the stuff that you're involved with.
Okay.
Definitely your personal page we got to check out. So let's drop all those before we jump off here.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, the retail business is RE Factor, or RE Factor Tactical. The Instagram is RE Factor Tactical. The website is refactortactical.com. And then Photo Bucket List that's just my personal page. That's where I post just whatever bullshit I feel like is cool. And then Clandestine Media Group, or I think it's clandestine_media on Instagram, and clandestine media.
Awesome page. Go follow both these pages.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Super rad. Great photography. And you'll have to come up here and shoot, man. Like,
love to, man.
Yeah, I'd love to get you up here. Definitely in September if I'm not on the mountain trying to kill an elk. Dude. Yeah, come out and we'll shoot them with our cameras.
Dude, I'd love to shoot them either way.
Shit you not. Opening day of archery season, actually the day before, you'll just see these huge bulls come in, like 7x8, and they're always on the golf course or somewhere around here. There's always a good spot to shoot them. Morning, night, whenever. So
I would absolutely love to. Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
And it's just a short trip for you. So, but yeah, man, thanks again for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. All right, brother.
Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. Also, if you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com. We wanted to let you know that the Mountainside Podcast is now available on Patreon. If you'd like access to bonus footage, behind-the-scenes content, ad-free listening, and much more, simply find the link in our bio or visit patreon.com.